So, you're here wondering, there must be more. More action, more reactions. Something more exciting, with more purpose and more possibilities. When you get that lingering feeling that you want more out of life, search Police Careers. Victoria Police, made for more. Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Antiquity and elegance, grace and culture, history and sophistication. No, I'm not talking about the background music. I'm talking about Varna, the beautiful city on the shores of the Black Sea. Opposite the National Naval Academy sits the Palace of Culture and Sports, hosting the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Challenge Cup. It is an absolute joy to have your company for action in a great gymnastics nation, one of the great gymnastics nations over the years. This lovely space hosted the Rhythmic Gymnastics European Championships last year. It now hosts the Varna World Challenge Cup of Artistic Gymnastics. My name's Ollie Hogben. It's a pleasure to be talking to you today and indeed hopefully tomorrow if you come back and enjoy the second half of this doubleheader weekend of Apparatus finals. We're going to get things underway in around about 5 minutes time. We'll start with the men's floor exercise and the women's vault, men's pommel horse, women's uneven bars and men's still rings. And in a charmingly old-fashioned way, in keeping with the antiquity of the area, we're going to proceed one at a time through these Apparatus finals. It's quite common at World Cup events. Wakey, wakey. It's quite common at World Cup events to have finals running in tandem, but it's not the way things are done in Varna. They prefer to actually have the finals one after each other. And in a way, that's rather nice because it means we get to focus our attention fully on each of the 5 finals rather than hopping between. So it really will hopefully give us a chance to dissect the routines in some detail and enjoy the mechanics of the gymnastics that we are about to see. This is the start list for the first final of the weekend, the men's floor exercise. The top performer in qualification, the young American Taylor Burkhart. He goes 6th in the order. A gentleman born in Florida but based in Colorado, a young undergraduate at a most prestigious institution. We also have Marios Georgiou of Cyprus, much more well known on the international stage. He was the 2nd best performer in the preliminary round and the 3rd strongest, Utirbek Juraev of Uzbekistan. A crowd of all ages gathered in the Palace of Culture and Sports. It has 3 halls, the Kongresna Hall, the Mladost Hall and Hall 20. And here is the start list for the women's vault competition. This will be our 2nd final. Top performer in the preliminary round was Valentina Georgieva of the host nation, and guess what? She's last to go. How exciting it would be if she could get onto the podium. Now, who is going to pummel the pommels later on in our coverage? It's going to be a very interesting final, actually, the men's pommel horse. Top performer in qualification, the well-known Jordanian Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. Can he deliver in the final? That's always the question. When he does, he's a wonderful gymnast. Right after him will be the second strongest qualifier, Benjamin Osberger of France. And straight after him, the third best qualifier, Eyal Indig of Israel. So that's going to be an interesting final in terms of the structure of things. We do indeed have the fourth strongest in qualification right before those three. Our penultimate final will be the women's uneven bars. Strongest in the preliminary round, Aline Fries of France. How nice to see her back in international competition and indeed making her World Cup debut. Second strongest performer in the qualifying round, Sanne Veerman of Netherlands, will be last to perform. It seems that Maisa Kusiko has changed nationality from Finland to Azerbaijan, but I don't think that's the case unless I missed something in the last 24 hours. I mean, it has happened. It's not quite that quickly. And now to the still rings competition. The top qualifier, the British gymnast Courtney Tulloch. He'll be sixth to go. So we are just around a couple of minutes or so away from getting started in the Palace of Culture and Sports, the home of the Bulgarian national volleyball team and the Cherno More Port basketball team. It actually hosted the Volleyball World Championships in 2018. And I'll give you a little trivia question to ponder. This was the host venue for a weightlifting competition at an event in the 1980s, an international event. But what was that international event? Weightlifting competition in the 1980s. And whilst you're pondering that, I'll throw another one at you. There is an identical version of this exact venue designed by the same architect in another city. Do you know what that city is? Couple of questions for you to ponder before we get underway with the gymnastics action in Varna.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the first final days on the 6th World Cup in Artistic Gymnastics held in Varna, Bulgaria. We are glad to see you here. Today, we are going to see athletes fighting for medals in the following disciplines: floor exercise, pommel horse, and steel rings for men, vault and uneven bars for women.
Днес ще наблюдаваме състезателите борещи се за призово класиране на уриите на прескок и смесена отбърка за жени и земя конвелки за мъже. И днес с помощта на уважаемата публика нека спорни аплодисменти подкрепим нашите сънародници Валентина Георгиева и Теодор Тодинов, които ще атакуват медалите на прескок за жени и земна гимнастика за мъже. А сега, дами и господа, нека посреща Съдийската комисия на земна гимнастика.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the judges team for men's finals in floor exercise.
So the introduction of the officials, and we shall shortly welcome the gymnasts out onto the field of play. That city, by the way, Lagos. There's an identical version of this arena in Lagos in Nigeria. And the competition, well, this was the host venue, as I'm sure you were shouting at your screens, for the 1984 Friendship Games. So the officials are here for the men's floor exercise. We better get some gymnasts out.
Let's invite with huge applause the athletes and coaches for men's floor exercise.
Lovely orchestration, actually, to bring out the athletes. It's a real toe-tapping melody. And here they come, first final about to get underway at the Palace of Culture and Sports. Let's hand over to our in-venue hosts to tell you who's who.
Greetings, today we're going to see Hungary, Benedikt Tomcsányi.
Benedikt Tomcsányi of Hungary, 6th best in qualification. Marius Georgiou of Cyprus, 2nd strongest performer in qualification. Mediterranean champion. Theodor Trifonov of Bulgaria, from very close to Varna, 5th best in qualifying. Urkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan. Senior international debutant Yaz Ramsahai of Netherlands. There's your top qualifier, Taylor Burkhardt of the United States of America, senior international debutant. Andres Martinez of Colombia, bronze medalist on floor at the Pan American Games. And Benjamin Osberger of France, 4th strongest in qualification. So we have a split warm-up format, as I'm sure many of you are used to if you've been watching FIG Apparatus competitions for a short while now. It changed not so long ago to give the athletes a touch warm-up. The start list for the men's floor competition. The top performer in qualification is the young American senior international debutant Taylor Burkhardt. He goes 6th in the order. A look at Theodor Trifonov from Targoviste in the northeast of Bulgaria. Only 120 kilometers to the west of Varna. This is a special moment for him. There, Benedikt Tomcsányi, European Championship bronze medalist in Mersin in 2020. Part of that wonderful Hungarian team, both in men's and women's competition, that stood on the podium. The 19-year-old will doubtless be really enjoying this opportunity. Young Trifonov, chance to get out there in front of an appreciative home crowd, but strong competitors alongside him, just like the gentleman we saw a moment ago, Urkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan. He's a very nice performer on the floor. First to go it will be Benedikt Tomcsányi.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Hungary, Benedikt Tomcsányi.
We begin with Benedikt Tomcsányi of Hungary, the first to go in this men's floor final. 6th best in the preliminary round. The 20-year-old is from beautiful Budapest. Hard to see there whether his foot did stay in bounds or not. It was pretty close. Yes, he wasn't quite right attacking that twist. A lot better that time. Clearance was quite secure. Right hand was quite close to touching down on the mat in that final tumbling pass, but it certainly had its moments from Benedikt Tomczany. He was the all-around silver medalist at the National Championships last year. He also took a bronze medal on the floor. Yes, that hand may well have tapped down. And at the moment when he was a little out on his landing position, sitting back will concede a full mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Cyprus, Giorgio.
11.8 the score for Benedikt Tomczany, if I read the scoreboard correctly there, just briefly saw it. We'll give you official confirmation as soon as we can. Marios Georgiou of Cyprus. Second best performer in qualification. Difficulty a little higher than Tomczany. Not as high as some of the difficulty we'll see. Moves into the skill that we see so often on the floor exercise, the Russian Venderschwing or the Fedorchenko. He's well out there. Execution for Georgiou in qualification was 8.35. He's giving little deductions away on every single landing, hops and steps here and there. It was a strong performance. Whether it will be enough to contend with the gentleman from the United States of America who's coming up remains to be seen. He has 5 World Cup medals, Marios Georgiou. Each one of those landing adjustments, although small, will amount to a sizable series of execution deductions, along with the penalty for transgressing out of bounds. There is some good difficulty and some good form in the air.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, representing Bulgaria,
There's confirmation of the 11.8 for Tomczany. He's lost almost a couple of marks on his execution from qualification. Theodor Trifonov of Bulgaria. He's from just to the west of Varna. Targovishte on the banks of the Varna River. Little reset going into his handstand, problematic. Nice elegant escape from it though. That was good. That was a well concluded routine from Teodor Trifonov of Bulgaria. First ever final for him at World Cup level. Made his debut last year in Varna. City of Targovishte is actually twinned with Cottbus, which hosted the first World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics of the year. Decent amplitude. .35 for Marios Georgiou. Now we go to Utkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan. Third strongest performer in qualification. 19-year-old made his first FIG competition finals in Doha and in Baku. He was 7th on the floor in Baku. Oh goodness, he was far too low there. Well, it was a wild display, wasn't it, from Utkirbek Jurayev? A couple of quite tricky looking landings, more than a couple in that routine. He's a very exciting young athlete. He does some ambitious work on the floor, but his execution in qualification was 8.55. One suspects he'll struggle to reach that in the final. So many of his landings seem to be those where the ground met him rather than the other way around. As Trifonov scores 13.6, he goes into the lead. And we are now into the next touch warm-up series. Well, apologies that we are running behind with all of the scoring here by one routine. It makes it slightly trickier to keep tabs on the competition, but I can tell you that after 3 scores in, it's Trifonov who leads the way, then Georgiou, then Tomchani, but we're waiting on the number 4, Utkirbek Juraev. If you're just joining the action, we are halfway through the men's floor final in Varna. The first of 5 Apparatus finals. It's going to be nice to see Yazram Sahai of the Netherlands making his senior international debut. Huge congratulations to him. Yazram Sahai, 8th strongest in qualification. That's a good start with his first tumbling pass. 19-year-old from Amsterdam. Not quite as secure compared to the tumbling passes before. He has a certain elegance to him. Little leg separation on the Russian Wendeschwings. Again, never looked quite right in his attack of the second part of the tumbling pass. And regrettably, the wheels rather came off that routine from Yazram Sahai. What a shame. Very good start for the teenager. He began with confidence. Score for Juraev is 11.95. Lost about a couple of marks of execution, and that very easy to see why. Didn't have an enormous sense of control in his routine. Started well. Lovely smooth looking pike position. Twist again. His form was good, but as he tucked in, just overcooked things a little. Slightly out of bounds. This is where there was evident leg separation, a slightly wild quality. And unfortunately, the routine just somewhat got away from him in the second half. Here's the problem, where he's very off axis in his landing position. On to the top qualifier. Taylor Burkhart of the United States of America, 19-year-old, born in Boca Raton in Florida, where it seems like half of the world's tennis players live. Finished high school last year. He's now at Stanford University. Recently won the collegiate national championships with his team. His senior international debut has thus far gone very well, 14.1 in qualification. And based on what we've seen so far in this final, it's here for the taking. Yes, very secure. He's a fast gymnast. Lost his form a little in the pike position. This is more secure than what we've seen so far. Very powerful. First use of the Thomas flares. isn't that nice? Well, certainly that is a contending display from Taylor Burkhardt of the United States of America. Leading score at the moment is 13.6. Let's have a look back at some of the finest moments of his routine. Almost lost his landing there, didn't he, coming out of the tuck position. Small amount of leg bend in the pike, not an enormous amount. This was lovely, like a tornado he whirled his way through those flares. Before him, Yazram Zahai, score of 11. Has him in 5th place. Now to a very stylish gymnast on the floor, Andres Martinez of Colombia. Bronze medalist at the Pan American Games in Lima in 2019. Fifth time we've seen him at a World Cup, but the first since Cottbus in 2018. Amazingly, it's his first final. He did well to not fall out of that very compressed landing. Oh, well, it is one of those floor finals today. He's going to lose an enormous amount of difficulty, as well as the execution deductions. If it's the first time you've had the opportunity to see Andres Martinez, you're not seeing a true representation of him. He's obviously carrying a couple of injuries. You can see, I'm sure, the hefty taping he's got on. This is a lovely gymnast who won a team gold medal at the Central American and Caribbean Games at home in 2018, a team silver medal at the South American Games the same year in Cochabamba, and that bronze medal at the Pan American Games. He's had a horrible time of injury lately. In 2021 he fractured his right leg in training, missed the Pan American Championship, so we are just thrilled to see Andres Martinez back out there competing again. After such a difficult injury, it naturally takes an enormous amount of time to get back to one's competitive best.
Yeah, it's good though, I like it.
14.05, never looked to be too much doubt about that. Taylor Burkhardt goes into the lead, highest difficulty we've seen by some way. Now to Benjamin Osberger of France. Fourth best in qualification, 13.85. He's the last to go, and you know what? He's got a chance.
Do we wear these? Or warm-ups?
Yeah. Later I will show you.
Okay.
My switcher.
Oh, okay. I got too much. Like dripping.
Something of a delay here, and I suspect that is due to the complex calculations that need to be done for Andres Martinez.
Do you watch the final championship tonight?
Football?
Yeah.
We're gonna watch, I think.
We're going to see
What time
a few Colombian gymnasts over the course of this weekend. They've had a very good qualification round.
Maybe for a little finals tomorrow. So
Four finals. People.
Hi Bart. No.
The first.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Benjamin Osberger.
It was good after. Let's go
Your
Floor!
teammate?
Huh?
Your teammate? No.
Well, they messed up because G scored. They got it wrong by 3 points. And we didn't submit the
It is Benjamin Osberger of France.
whatever you write.
Fourth strongest in qualification, but it has been a very stuttery floor final from all and sundry, with the exception really
Let's go
of
Floor!
Taylor Burkhart and of Theodor Trifonov. Oh, wasn't that nice? Youngster from Colmar near Strasbourg in the east of France.
You guys show us. Nice.
Very secure. This is looking good.
Oh yeah.
Excellent performance from Benjamin Osberger of France. Well done to the young man who one suspects has got himself very close to the podium, if not quite high up on it. Now, his difficulty in qualification was 5.4, Burkhart's 6, matched in the final. So Osberger really has got to have joyously good execution to get right up towards the American. He was 2.5 tenths away from him in qualification. Andres Martinez didn't have the strongest day at work, unfortunately. 9.75 for him. We await the score for Osberger to come in. So at the moment, leading the way, Taylor Burkhart, 14.05. Second place, Bulgaria's Theodor Trifonov, 13.6. He's guaranteed a medal. Marios Georgiou of Cyprus, third place, 13.35. Hasn't he done well? Hasn't he done well? First time on the podium at an international event. But where? That's the question. We wait to see what the score is for Osberger. And we will have the victory ceremony in just a moment. That's what you want, isn't it? Finally getting the podium in the right place after the TV broadcast has already started. Oh, very well done. He's won it. Benjamin Osberger of France has beaten Taylor Burkhart. The key there, not just the brilliant execution, he's added 2/10 of difficulty. That is terrific from the young man from near Strasbourg. Well, well, well. Take a bow, young man. Benjamin Osberger had a lot to do to surpass Taylor Burkhart's difficulty. But that was delightful. So all of that means that we know that Benjamin Osberger has taken the gold, Taylor Burkhart the silver, and Theodor Trifonov the bronze. And just as soon as the podium is actually rebuilt, we'll be able to bring you the victory ceremony. It is not dampening their spirits, though, young fans watching on. And this is a nice tradition in Varna. The Palace of Culture and Sports is directly opposite the National Naval Academy. And so whenever there's an event held here in Varna, the cadets participate in the victory ceremonies. The academy is named after Nikola Vaptsarov, a poet who is revered really in Bulgaria, studied at the academy in the 1920s.
There's fast, then there's the fastest. Optus 5G, Australia's fastest 5G. It starts with yes.
Spirit Super is the industry super fund that backs all hardworking Aussies. With support you can count on, low fees, and a history of strong returns, it all starts with Spirit.
Oh dear. Dad's beloved band shirt. The one he said never wear. For 30 years he's owned it. In just 30 seconds, she stained it. She's about to face the music. Never mind, that's a Samsung smart washer. AI technology automatically adapts to your stains, making laundry easy for anyone.
Raise your hand if you think we should avoid that charging cord. Jennifer.
Kidding. Oh my gosh, take a joke.
Recognizes over 80 common objects. iRobot OS.
Nearly there. It will be time for the victory ceremony in just a moment. We appear to have shuffled the podium a couple of feet in one direction. Now we just need some gymnasts to go and stand on it. The classified results in the men's floor competition. The bronze medal to Theodor Trifonov of Bulgaria. Great moment for him. First international honours, and 100 kilometres away from where he grew up. The silver to Taylor Burkhart of the USA. His senior international debut ends in a place on the podium, but the last man to perform in the final, Benjamin Osberger of France, has taken the gold. He was the fourth best in qualification. He has also received his first international colours.
Dame и господа, нека приветстваме шампионите на земна гимнастика.
Back when the
Ladies and
ceremony
gentlemen, the sixth World Challenge
started
Cup
and they lined up,
awarding
they were
ceremony
cadets,
for
they're
the
now
floor
all
exercise
admirals.
for men begins.
It's now time for the victory ceremony for the men's floor exercise here at the Varna World Challenge Cup in the Palace of Culture and Sports in Bulgaria on the shores of the Black Sea. And what a fresh looking podium this is. You think they're young? The gymnasts on the podium not that much older. Huge congratulations to all of them.
Трето място и бронзов медал за представителя на България Теодор Трифонов.
Well done, Teodor Trifonov, the 19-year-old from close to Varna. Bronze medal for him. He was the fifth best performer in the qualification round. That's a super jump up for the man from Targovishte. Welcome to the international scene, Taylor Burkhardt of the United States of America. The collegiate champion, now an international medalist. But here's your star, Benjamin Osberger of France, the 20-year-old from Colmar. He was the fourth best performer in the preliminary round, and he has done superbly to add 2.5 tenths to his score to take the title.
First place will be held by Varna FIG technical delegate. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem.
And we'll now have the national anthem of France. Well, they've just announced the national anthem, but I think probably best we do the medals first. And then after that, we will have the national anthem played for the first time in honour of Benjamin Osberger.
И сега, дами и господа, моля за внимание за националния химн.
The medalists in the men's floor competition at the Varna World Challenge Cup of Artistic Gymnastics at the Palace of Culture and Sports in Bulgaria. Hugely memorable moment for that youngster. He was so composed, wasn't he, 19-year-old Teodor Trifonov, in a floor final really where the vast majority of competitors had enormous difficulties compared to qualification. to the women's vault competition here in Varna, and the top performer in the preliminary round will be the last gymnast to go, Bulgaria's Valentina Georgieva. She was the top qualifier for the vault final at the Baku World Cup. She finished 7th in the final. Can she have a stronger outing here? In terms of difficulty, Aline Fries of France, the second best in qualification, could be troublesome. So in just a moment we will have the touch warm-ups for the first 4 competitors in this women's vault final.
И сега, дами и господа, нека с бурни аплодисменти посрещнем треньорите и състезателите в днешния финал на прескок.
In good humour, the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite with huge applause the athletes and coaches for women's vault.
And hopefully the gymnasts as well, for we are about to get underway. Here come the contenders for the women's vault competition in Varna. Is this going to be a rather special moment for the host nation? They have the top qualifier after all.
Greetings. Today we're going to see, representing Denmark, Camille Rasmussen.
Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, 7th strongest in qualification, reigning national champion. Lihi Radz of Israel, a reigning Israeli all-around champion. Maisa Kursiko of Finland, also the reigning all-around national champion. Greta Meyer of Hungary, 2-time Junior European Championship medalist. We have Aline Fries of France, a World Cup debut for the Olympian. Marlis Lippens of the Netherlands. Tiana Korent of Croatia, veteran performer in vault finals at World Cup level. And there is the top qualifier, Bulgaria's Valentina Georgieva, the Junior European Championship vault silver medalist in 2020. What a lovely moment for Camille Rasmussen of Denmark. World Cup debut for her. She's done very well to make it into this vault final. Vault gold medalist at the 2017 Maccabea Games, Lihi Radz. Really developing and increasing her presence on the international stages. Maisa Kursiko of Finland, we're going to see her quite a bit this weekend. 2 years in a row, the all-around national champion. 16-year-old from Tampere. Hungary's Greta Meyer. She won a silver medal at her only competition of the year so far, which was the Ilag Matale Memorial Competition in Budapest. It's a much loved event for the Hungarian gymnasts.
Warm-up is over. Good luck.
So we begin with Camille Rasmussen of Denmark. Score of 13.9 for her first vault, a 5 difficulty, 8.9 execution. Well, that's a very secure start, isn't it? From Camille Rasmussen of Denmark. That's really very much her showpiece vault. Yeah, very good vault. And she had an 8.9 for execution for her double twisting Yurchenko in qualification. She will take a penalty for going out of bounds. Vault champion at the Junior Northern European Championships in 2019. He's been the Junior Nordic all-around champion as well. We don't have a score, I'm afraid, for you for that first vault for Rasmussen. Now, second, much lower difficulty. In qualification, she had a 3.4 difficulty score for her second vault. Score of 11.9 for a 12.9 average and 7th place overall. So next it will be Lihi Rats.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Israel, Lihi Rats.
Lihi Rats of Israel, 13.2 for her first vault in qualification. Was well executed. 8th best overall in the preliminary round. Now, let's see if Rasmussen's made any improvement. 13.45. So yes, she does gain the additional mark of difficulty for the Tsukahara full, the second vault. That's a whole mark up from qualification. So Rasmussen is suddenly massively in contention with that 13.45. Second vault for Rats. I looked a touch on the tentative side, didn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Finland.
Next will be Maisa Kustiko of Finland. Third best performer in qualification. However, the increased difficulty from Rasmussen has really changed the game somewhat of this final.
I've done it 2 times and I'm working on it. Yeah.
13.45 for the first vault in qualification.
But I only did the theme and I did all. Yeah.
2nd vault from Maisa Kustiko. Apologies that we can't bring you any update on the scores, but we'll execute it. Difficulty in qualification lower than what we have seen from the likes of Rasmussen and lower than what we will see from Fries. But she's had 2 very well executed vaults. Very good form in the air. Really snapped into that mid-flight. 12.925 for Rads is a mild jump up from qualification. Greta Meyer of Hungary. 12.975 in qualification. Her difficulty for the second vault was 3.6, so she might find herself slightly priced out of things. That's very secure. From an execution standpoint, Greta Meyer will likely not give a great deal away. She had a 9.05 for that easier second vault in qualification.
3 minutes and a half warm-up time for the next 4 athletes, please.
15-year-old who won 2 Junior European Championship medals in 2020. Balance beam silver and floor bronze. Now, what about Maisa Kusiko? 13.175. So again, she is up from qualification, but the leader we certainly expect after Mayer's score has come in will still be Camille Rasmussen. So we're now warming up the second group of gymnasts. One of them, the veteran Tiana Collent, 33-year-old. Made the vault final at the European Championships a couple of years ago. First time we've seen her competing since the Mersin World Challenge Cup last year. Great to have her back. And what about the gymnast who is 18 years younger? Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria, top qualifier. And she's going to be, unless she's got some upgrades to come in the final, very heavily reliant on extremely good execution after Rasmussen's display. Greta Meyer, 12.975 for her. And so that has her currently in the bronze medal position. Rads has moved down to 4th. Mara Slippens of the Netherlands, just 15, her senior international debut in an FIG competition. But she did end last year winning vault gold at junior event in Charleroi.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing
The Olympic rings on the arm of Aline Fries of France. Gymnast who competed in Tokyo. She made the team in the uneven bars final, and she comes into this as the second strongest performer in qualification. Key thing is going to be whether she stays in bounds on the first vault, which she didn't do in qualification, and she has the same problem again this time. Now her score in the preliminary round, 13.5. Rasmussen leads on 13.45, so this could be very tight. We expect Fries to have the edge on difficulty. Amazing to think it's a World Cup debut for Aline Fries. She's done so many massive competitions, and yet we have so seldom seen her, the 18-year-old. Well, this is going to be really interesting to see where she fits in around Camille Rasmussen. Well executed vault, following up on the Rudy for the first. Quite a substantial hop back as she lands, but it's still likely to score well for execution. If she can break closer to the 9 mark for execution than in qualification, then she's going to have, one suspects, a little edge over Rasmussen. Now to Mara Slippens of the Netherlands, 15-year-old from Brachat in Flanders. That's very secure vaulting from her. She doesn't have enormous difficulty compared to other competitors, but what she has got is a very elegant style, very controlled. That's very well judged in terms of the line. Second vault for Mara Slippens. 4th best in qualification, and she probably didn't execute that quite as well as in the preliminary round, but it's been a really good debut for the youngster. She has got some decent amplitude. Handspring front pike half vault was very tidy. 13.6 for Fries, new leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Croatia, Tijana Korent.
Tijana Korent of Croatia. 7th to go. 5th best in qualification. 13 her overall score. 33-year-old has competed in so many vault finals at World Cup level, but this is the first time we've seen her since last year at the Mersin World Challenge Cup. So following up on the handspring front tuck full. Second vault now for Tiana Corrent. Also had a 4.2 difficulty for this in qualification. So a little unsteady on both of her landings as she shakes her head, didn't quite feel right evidently. Form was certainly not as she was intending. .925 for Mara Slippens. Still leading the way, it is Aline Fries, then Camille Rasmussen, and then Maisa Kustiko. Valentina Georgieva of Bulgaria last to go.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, representing Bulgaria, Valentina Georgieva.
The top qualifier. 13.575. The leading score is 13.6. She needs a substantial improvement in execution if she is to be secure, and regrettably Valentina Georgieva is once again not going to feature on the podium, and it's all ever so similar from what happened in Baku. It's obviously such a disappointment for the young gymnast. Look, she's only 15. She's still getting used to senior international finals. That's a good second vault from Valentina Georgieva. Junior European Championship silver medalist on vault in 2020. It's another one to consider a learning experience. Corrent at 12.2. She only picks up a 3 for difficulty for what was not even close to the vault she was intending, which had a 4.2 difficulty in qualification. For Georgieva, the misplacement of the hands, slipping as she came into contact with the vaulting table, costing her significantly with the first vault. Sukahara full was better. So Aline Fries is virtually secure of victory, and Camille Rasmussen also is going to pick up a medal. And this will be a lovely moment as well for Maisa Kustiko, unless there is some very shocking score for Georgieva. There won't be any change to the podium. .825 for Valentina Georgieva. Very good score for the second vault. but she will not feature on the podium. We'll bring you the classified results just as soon as we can, but it is a great World Cup debut for Aline Friis of France. She's picked up the gold medal. Silver going to Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, her first World Cup honours, and the same for Maisa Kusiko, the Finnish gymnast, picking up the bronze. So that means that across the first two finals we've had a totally brand new set of medalists here in Varna. We'll bring you official confirmation just as soon as we can. It's now time for the victory ceremony in the women's vault competition.
Awarding ceremony for vault for women.
And it is another absolutely history-making podium. First time ever for all of these gymnasts in World Cup competition.
Третьо място и бронзов медал за представителя на Финландия Maisa Kusiko.
Third place and bronze medal for the representative of Finland, Maisa Kuusiko.
Bronze medal to Maisa Kuusiko of Finland. The 16-year-old national champion gets her first ever World Cup medal. Brilliant performance from Camille Rasmussen of Denmark. Big jump of over half a mark from qualification for her. For the winner of the gold medal, the French gymnast and Olympian Aline Friis, her first ever World Cup competition. And she maintained her stance as the top qualifier, adding a 10th to her overall score.
Second place will be awarded by Smetana Dobrova, President of the Bulgarian Local Technical Committee.
И първо място награждава Весна Старе Сърдяк, технически делегат на ФИК.
First place will be awarded by Vesna Stare Srnec, Women's FIG Technical Delegate.
And we'll now have, for the second time today, the national anthem of France.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of France.
The medalists in the women's vault competition at the World Challenge Cup in Varna. So we have more action to come in a short while. We'll be getting underway with the men's pommel horse final in just a moment or two. The start list for the men's pommel horse competition. Top performer in qualification, the Jordanian Ahmad Abu Al-Soud, who goes 5th in the order. He has been a World Cup champion before. What will we see from Benjamin Osberger? That will be interesting. Second best in qualification and already a champion today. We must keep an eye on Ayel Indig of Israel. Goes 7th in the order, the 3rd best in the preliminary round. The two gymnasts with the highest difficulty scores, Abu Soud and Marius Georgiou. Georgiou actually the highest difficulty, 6.1, but he did come off the apparatus in qualification, still made it into the final. The men's pommel horse final not due to begin for another 5 minutes or so, so we may well have a brief delay in our coverage waiting for that to start, so you've got time to pop the kettle on, because it looks as though we are going to have just a short delay.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite with huge applause the athletes and coaches for men's pommel horse.
Well, ignore that, because it seems that they are going to bring them out earlier than indicated. Start time was due to be 6 minutes from now, but we're going early. No time to waste here in Varna as the men's pommel horse competitors make their way out onto the competition floor.
Greetings, representing the Netherlands, Laurent de Monk.
6th best in qualification, Laurent de Monk of the Netherlands.
Representing Croatia, Liam Rabic.
Senior international debut for the reigning all-around national champion, Liam Rabic of Croatia. His teammate Mateo Zugec, who's just been named to the European Championship team. Urkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan, 4th strongest in qualification. Top qualifier Ahmad Abu Soud of Jordan. Benjamin Osberger of France, 2nd strongest in the preliminary round. Eyal Indig of Israel, 3rd best in qualification, Junior European Championship silver medalist in 2020. And the highest difficulty, but only the 7th best strongest in qualifying, Marius Georgiou of Cyprus.
The pride in hard work. The beating heart of our nation. It all starts with Spirit. Spirit Super is the industry super fund that backs all hard-working Aussies. With support you can count on, low fees, and a history of strong returns, it all starts with Spirit.
Raise your hand if you think we should avoid that charging cord. Jennifer.
Kidding. Oh my gosh, take a joke.
Recognizes over 80 common objects. iRobot OS.
If you've had something stolen from your car,
you need us, but you don't need the sirens.
So when you need the police, but not the sirens, say 131444 to your phone. Or for online reporting, go to police.vic.gov.au.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
So we have the touch warm-ups now for the first 4. De Monk, Rabic, Zugec and Jurayev.
Warm-up is over.
Looking absolutely thrilled. Camille Rasmussen of Denmark, first time ever a World Cup medalist. Laurent de Monk of the Netherlands is the first to go in the men's pommel horse final. "23-year-old is from Haarlem. He made his World Championship debut last year.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Netherlands, Laurent de Monk.
Now then, this actually is the gymnast who had the highest difficulty score in qualification, 6.3. His execution, 7.25. If he can stay on and deliver his full difficulty, this is a really contending performance from de Monk. Snaps neatly into handstand to begin. Just a small deterioration of the leg form. Hopefully that does not lead to further issues. He's fairly close to the apparatus. But this is on the secure side. Bold Russian Wenderschwings. Getting close here. Can he just about keep it going? One hopes so. Good placement on the Magyar. Shivado is tidy. He's nearly there. He's very nearly there. Oh, no. Oh, Laurent de Monk. Agonising. That was super from the young man from Haarlem. And he just lost it at the end. One might suggest the signs were there. There were a few near misses throughout the routine, but on the whole it was well executed. It's a very elegant dismount. He's a researcher in biology, an accomplished scientist, graduate of the University of the Applied Sciences in Leiden. And that is really a case of what might have been for Laurent de Monk. What else can you say? But so nearly. Liam Rabic of Croatia, 18-year-old senior international debutant. This young man is the reigning all-around national champion. He was the junior national champion on pommel horse in 2020. Very nice style he has on pommel horse. His difficulty is not enormous. 4.9 in qualification, the lowest score of any of the qualifying gymnasts, but his execution was the finest of anyone. And with the sort of day that we're having here in Varna, where there have been some fairly problematic routines for quite a lot of gymnasts, it might well be that the crisp execution wins the day. We've got people prodding at bits of technology here, which is never a great sign. Looks as though it's been sorted. Apologies for the delay to the competition. Tough one this for Liam Rabic. When you think he's making his senior international debut and he's been held back from getting his routine underway for quite some time.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Croatia, Liam Rabic.
13.8 is the score for De Monk. Now, Liam Rabic of Croatia. Very sharp. As I mentioned earlier, very elegant. What a nice straight line he's established. Good body position. Deterioration of his form, but he's just managed to dismount there. That all seemed to go a touch peculiar right at the end, but there is a lot to enjoy about this young athlete. Oh, he's got a good straight line, hasn't he? Body very diagonal. Not too much of a bend at the midsection. Keeps his heels well pressed together. Very unusually jackknifed on his dismount. His teammate next to go. We're so used to seeing, aren't we, the Croatian veterans in World Cup pommel horse gymnastics. So young, these two. Mateo Juget's just 20. He's in a great mood at the moment, though. He's just been confirmed for the European Championship team after the qualification competition in Osijek. He's joining the likes of Tin Serbic, Filip Uday, Robert Seligman and Aurel Benovic. That's a very illustrious team. Once again, apologies for the long delays, trying to get some scores in.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Croatia.
Have to feel for these two young Croatians. Long waits to get started. Mateo Zugec of Croatia, 20-year-old, who was 4th at the Junior European Championships in 2020. 21st in pommel horse qualification at the World Championships in Kitakyushu. Got his control back nicely. 8th best performer in the preliminary round. Oh, it's very wild, isn't it? We had the warning of that right at the start. Lost his legs, got them back together again this time. Little cross of the legs coming into the Shivado. He's okay, just about. Mateo Zugec. There will be a fair few execution deductions here and there, but he looks pretty pleased with his performance. Very strong young man to get that back. When you consider that little separation was the lesser of the two, it was here that he does incredibly. Almost goes into the planche position, snaps the straddled legs back. And then as he's later on in the routine, going from Magyar into Shivado, crossing over of the ankles briefly. But if he can iron out all of these aspects of his form, then we've got a very good young pommel horse specialist here. 13.3 for Rabic. Bring you the score for Zugec after this next performance from Utkirbek Jurayev. Lovely for those two young lads to be competing one after each other in the final. Utkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan, 4th best in qualification. Pommel horse silver medalist at the South Central Asian Championships in Dhaka last year, where he won the all-around title. He is best known as an all-around gymnast, Jurayev, and one doesn't often see the all-around gymnasts performing particularly strongly on pommel horse.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Uzbekistan.
Well, the pommel horse judges certainly are taking their time. Much to chew over.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Uzbekistan, Utkirbek Yurayev.
Utkirbek Jurayev of Uzbekistan. Fourth best in qualification. 13.9 his score. Needs to reset from the handstand. That's unusual. But his clearance is strong. Nice and smooth now. Good pacey build-up into the Magyar Shivado combination. His legs are slightly out of position on the Russian vendor swings. He's done well to hold on to that. Really does get through the routine very quickly. First time he's made a World Cup pommel horse final. Once he had that initial issue with the handstand, he did get back on track. Good toe point. Next group warming up. Benjamin Osberger will be the 6th to go in the final, having won the men's floor competition. A man from Limassol in Cyprus, who was 50th in the all-around competition at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, 26th in Rio.
Warm-up is over. .75 for Jurayev. Just awaiting confirmation of the score for Mateo Zugets. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Jordan, Ahmad Abu Al-Soud.
Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordan, the top performer in qualification. Here we go, 14.65 for him. Sometimes he absolutely delivers in finals, sometimes he has difficulties. When on song, he's just lovely. Very close to the handles there. It's a little low, but it's difficult. Always hit the apparatus. Somehow he's carried on going though. Very low. Incredible core strength to get through that. Well, he will have left an attackable gap for Benjamin Osberger, one suspects, due to some of those execution deductions. But he did well to get through it. As the routine went on, the 26-year-old from Amman just started to get more jackknifed in the midsection. You can probably see it there. As a result, his clearance gets very marginal. And I'm fairly sure on one occasion he clunked one of the handles. Now we have the score at last for Mateusz Zugetz, and it's worth waiting for because he goes into the lead. 13.85, then De Munk in second place. Then Juraev. So we only have a 10th separating the top three. Now to Benjamin Osberger.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Benjamin Osberger.
Second best performer in qualification with a score of 14.25. He was 6th in the Baku pommel horse final. This is lovely. Beautiful straight line. Great height if he keeps this going. This is really in contention. Oh, yes. Brilliant. It's a little lower now. It's got the height back though. Very quickly too. Nice Shavado work. Loses the legs a bit as he's going into the dismount. Oh no. Similar to Laurent de Munk, when 97% of your routine has gone absolutely swimmingly. Oh, it's one of those days in Varna. Loses the full mark and now has to reset and go for that dismount again. And that's as it should have looked and as it nearly looked. Well, whatever happens, he's had a fine day, winning the title on floor. And what does that mean for Marios Georgiou, who's got such high difficulty? Still to come. We look back, though, at Benjamin Osberger. What a lovely looking dismount. And what a very nice routine for the lion's share. 14.1 for Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. That's exactly the sort of gap that one suspected he might give to Osberger, but Osberger has not capitalised. Abu Al-Soud has lost around half a mark from qualification. It's another final that is up for grabs. Ayal Indig, third best in qualifying, the Junior European Championship silver medalist in 2020. And he also is going to find it hard to get onto the podium. So many unusual errors. Good recovery, very solid looking display. Powerful young man. Just a little check of the hips as he went into that dismount to settle himself, and it's another young athlete with great promise. This is quite a young final. Right at the start though, the big clunk on the apparatus. Very hard to recover from that sort of position. .45. Osberger is down by 0.8 from qualification, so with 2 to go, guaranteed a medal is Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordan. To Marios Georgiou, second highest difficulty score in qualification of anyone, 6.1, but only a 13.5 overall. He has had pommel horse problems, well documented over the past while, including unintentionally dismounting the apparatus at the Olympic Games. The last competitor, Marios Georgiou of Cyprus. So far, so good.
I don't know.
He's close, very close to the apparatus, but just getting through the Magyar-Shivado combination. And that is strong. Oh, he's waited for that for a while. Marios Georgiou of Cyprus. A good pommel horse routine from him. He's had a tricky old relationship with this apparatus. Doesn't he set nicely to go into the flares? It's crisp. I tell you what, when this young athlete is on song, he has a real style. Consistency has always been the issue. Today he was good. He was very good. 12.6 for Ayal Indig. Loses about a mark of execution, 0.4 of difficulty, and so Ahmad Abu Al-Soud in the lead. Second place, Matteo Jugetz. Well done to him. And third, despite the problems at the start, Laurent de Monk, or the end I should say. He was the first to go, but he had problems with his dismount. Marius Georgiou waits for his score. One suspects it will have some real impact on the podium. Over to them now. We await confirmation. Has he got it? There's dramatic pause and there's dramatic pause. Ironically, for an apparatus that's about continuous movement and action, we haven't quite had that from the judging table today. To be fair, I think they've had a few technical issues as well. You'd think that he is confident, though. Big spell coming up for Marius Georgiou, who's taking a moment to relax on the chairs because he's got the Commonwealth Games along with all of the other big competitions. He won 3 Commonwealth Games medals in 2018, including the all-around bronze medal. Got time for a quick snooze. But it will all be worth the wait if the right number comes in for Marius Georgiou, and that's what we are about to see, I think. Whatever it is, he's pleased with it. More somber look on the face of Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. There we go, the gold for Marius Georgiou of Cyprus. Way better execution than in qualification. And we'll bring you the classified results in just a moment or two. The classified results in the men's pommel horse competition. Now, there's been an adjustment to the score of Ahmad Abu El Soud from what we initially saw. 13.8 for him, which has him in the bronze medal position. We'll get confirmation on that in a moment. Mateo Zugets of Croatia, 13.85, silver. And Marios Georgiou of Cyprus, the champion. And that is a third World Cup gold for the Cypriot. Meanwhile, we are going to get underway in a little while with the women's uneven bars final, but we'll have the victory ceremony in the men's pommel horse competition before that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 6th World Challenge Cup awarding ceremony for pommel horse begins.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the men's pommel horse competition at the FIG World Challenge Cup of Artistic Gymnastics in Varna.
Diretto bianco, il bronzo medaglia представителя на Йордания Ахмад Абу Ал-Сауд.
Bronze medal to Ahmad Abu Al-Soud of Jordan, a score of 13.8 for him. Fourth time on a World Cup podium. Well done to Mateo Zugec of Croatia, silver medal. He was the 8th strongest in qualification. What a fantastic display. His first World Cup final. But Marios Georgiou, who so often has found pommel horse his Achilles heel, not this time. A great display. He gains a full mark from the preliminary round and takes the title.
Second place will be awarded by Raymond Nanku, men's FIG technical delegate.
И първо място награждава Минко Христов, изпълнителен директор на Двореца на културата и спорта.
First place will be awarded by Minko Christoph, Executive Director of the Palace of Culture and Sports.
Well, just to confirm, there was a change to the initially identified score for Ahmad Abu Al-Soud. He went down by 0.3. We haven't received confirmation of the reason for that. But we do know that Marios Georgiou is the champion and will now have the national anthem of Cyprus.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of Cyprus.
The Hymn to Liberty played for Marios Georgiou. He's joined by his fellow medalists in the men's pommel horse competition at the Varna World Challenge Cup in Bulgaria. Wise move, quickly getting that picture of young Zugec. Moment to remember for the Croatian. We'll bring you the women's uneven bars final in just a short while.
А сега, дами и господа, нека с бурни аплодисменти посрещнем треньорите и състезатели в днешния финал на смесена успоредка.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's invite with huge applause the athletes and coaches for women's uneven bars.
The start list for the women's uneven bars competition. The top performer in qualification, gold medalist in the vault final, Aline Vries of France. Vries only the top qualifier on the execution tiebreak, with the performance of Sanne Veerman of Netherlands, who has a higher difficulty. Not an awful lot really to separate most of the top five.
Greetings, representing Romania, Ioana Stanciulescu. Representing France, Aline Vries.
We just missed there Ioana Stanciulescu of Romania, fifth strongest in qualification. Aline Vries of France, top qualifier. Metil Makovic of Hungary, sixth best in qualification. Barbara Mokosova of Slovakia, European Championship medalist. Jazzy Madej of Austria. Last time we saw her internationally was in Varna a year ago. Celia Serber of France, uneven bars bronze medalist at the national championships. Maisa Kusiko has just got on the podium in the vault competition, and Sanne Veerman of the Netherlands, who won the silver medal on the uneven bars in Cottbus. So first to go will be Ioana Stanciulescu of Romania. She was the national champion on the uneven bars back in 2020. Didn't compete at the national championships last year. The World Cup in Baku was her first competition since the European Championships of 2020, when she won a silver medal with the Romanian team, that young Romanian team. Aline Vries, whose World Cup debut has a 100% success rate so far. Gave away 4/10 of difficulty to Veerman in the qualification round, but it was a very well executed display. Metil Makovic, national champion on the uneven bars in 2020. 18-year-old. She's from Dunaj-Varoš, which is the same settlement as Sofia Kovac. To Barbara Mokosova of Slovakia. The first ever Slovakian to win European Championship honours when she took the uneven bars bronze medal at her 7th European Championships in Mersin in 2020.
Experience Grand Japan with Tripadeal. Discover Mount Fuji, Hiroshima, Osaka and more on this 15-day package from $3,999. Save 50%. Visit Tokyo, Kyoto, Nagano and more. Includes flights, accommodation, daily breakfast and more. And now earn and use Qantas points on any booking. Selling fast? Book now. Call us or visit tripadeal.com.au.
Raise your hand if you think we should avoid that charging cord. Jennifer.
Kidding. Oh my gosh, take a joke.
Recognizes over 80 common objects. iRobot OS.
Warm-up is over. And ladies and gentlemen, representing Romania,
we begin the women's uneven bars final with Ioana Stancilescu of Romania. 5th best in qualification. Team silver medalist at the European Championships in 2020. 7th at the World Cup in Baku. Starts with the traditional Shaposhnikova. Back salto doesn't lose her too much speed, adds in a half turn. Coming back from low to high. This is good. Both the release skills, the Jaeger and the Kachev, well executed. Pike position that time. Well, that's tidy from Ioana Stancilescu of Romania. Now, her difficulty score in qualification, 5.8 I should say, to Fries's 5.6, makes her an absolute contender. Van Leuven was well performed. Before that, she had the original Shaposhnikova. Kachev variations abounding. She gets very good height on the dismount. So that has administered a suitable challenge for Eline Fries. She had that, didn't she, in the vault final when Camille Rasmussen came up and added half a mark to her qualification score. One wonders if Stancilescu's managed to do something similar. Certainly brought the best out of the French woman. Finalist on the uneven bars at the Olympiad.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Eline Fries.
From Aubenas in the northeast of France, right by the German border, Eline Fries. She's already won 1 gold medal on her World Cup debut. Best routine in qualification. Maloney to transition. Somewhat loss of form, returning to the low bar. Smooth Jaeger. And she dismounts well. Interesting to compare that to what we've just seen from Ioana Stanciulescu. Great to see Aline Fries back in competition. Didn't really seem to be troubled by a great deal in this routine. Did lose form on the pack salto. That was the one evident place. Dismount was solid looking. Stanciulescu 12.9, so she's down a fraction from qualification. All of that for Stanciulescu has come off her execution.
Representing Hungary, Myrtle Markovic.
Myrtle Markovic of Hungary. 18-year-old European Championship bronze medalist in team competition. National champion on the uneven bars. Good recovery as she went into the chow and the pack salto. Just lost the heels a little as she went into the Van Leuven. Piked Jaeger was quite secure. Quite come up to fully vertical. Tucks around well though for a good dismount. Myrtle Markovic, some strong work in that display. Whether she'll get close to the 8 for execution she produced in qualification will be interesting to see. First Stolder transition from low to high we've seen in this final. Not as common. Certainly wasn't in the previous code of points. Much more common to see the position with the feet on the bars, the Maloney and Van Leuven skills. The double tuck to conclude. Fries 13.45, like Stanciulescu, she's down a touch from qualification, but is comfortably into the lead. She's maintained the sort of advantage she had in qualification. But we still have gymnasts to come who had pretty strong qualification performances that could touch that 13.45. The likes of Serber, of Kusico, and most certainly of Veerman. Barbara Mokosova will need an increase in difficulty if she is to contend.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Slovakia, Barbara Mokosova.
Barbara Mokosova of Slovakia. European Championship bronze medalist in 2020. Maloney into a tidy pack salto. Just seemed to lose her swingfulness for a moment, but she's got it back. strong gymnast, and that was a big Jaeger. Oh, lovely height on the dismount. Well executed from Barbara Mokosova.
Three and a half minutes warm-up.
Gymnast who made the all-around final at the European Championships in 2021, also at the European Games. Perfectly composed Jaeger. Little leg separation, just a small loss of form as she reconnected with the high bar. She did get compelling height in that dismount though. Well, we are now in the second half of the women's uneven bars competition. Warm-ups for Jasmine Mader, Celia Serber, Maisa Kustiko and Sanna Veerman going on. And there is the young Finnish gymnast who has just won her first ever World Cup medal. She's the reigning national champion on the uneven bars. 12.6 for Middle Makovic. She's down by 4/10 from qualification. So we're seeing a fairly consistent trend in this final in terms of the comparison to qualification scores. No question, one would expect Sanna Veerman to place highly. And her difficulty score in qualifying 6.1. One wonders where Maisa Kustiko might fit into all of this. .7 for Barbara Mokosova. She's the only gymnast that we've seen so far who has improved upon their qualification performance, but it's just by a single tenth. So that has her in third position as things stand, but it might be a difficult third place to maintain.
Work is over.
Jasmine Mader of Austria.
Austria, Jasmine Mader.
She has won medals on the uneven bars at World Cup level. Well controlled bail. Gets through the Jaeger without too many issues. Unfortunately, sits down on the dismount, Jasmine Mader of Austria. She's been really invigorated recently, the 29-year-old, the veteran, by attending a training camp in Mallorca with the national team. They went there to work on some of their skills at the High Performance Centre in the Balearic Islands. Beautiful part of the world. If you've never been to the Balearics, thoroughly recommend it. Lovely phrase by the local writer Peter Ernest Vokes, who said it is the Iberian Peninsula in microcosm, the green hills of Asturias, the blue seas of Marbella and the cobbled streets of Toledo, encircled by the Mediterranean Sea, shimmering like a blue opal. She spoke very highly, Madder, of her time in the Balearics, and it's good that we see her back in international competition for the first time since the vault final in Varna a year ago. Now to Célia Serbert of France. Third strongest performer in qualification.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing France, Célia Serbert.
Célia Serbert was the bronze medalist at the National Championships in France in June of last year. Made her debut at the World Championships in Kitakyushu. This is a sharp beginning. What a nice Jaeger. Very tidy, this. Easy to see why she had such a high execution score in the preliminary round. First Ginger somersault that we've seen. That's very nice from Célia Serbert of France. A good Jaeger somersault. The Ginger was similarly polished. This is a good display from Serbert. .95 for Madder.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Finland, Maisa Kuusko.
Now this could be most interesting. Maisa Kuusko of Finland. She's already won a medal on vault, her first ever World Cup colours. 13.45 in qualification, fourth best, but with a high difficulty score of 6. Shaposhnikova transition to begin. And she misses the Kachev. Well, for the gymnast from Tampere, it's been a brilliant World Cup, regardless of that problem. She's often been known for some very impressive, difficult work on this apparatus. It hasn't yet really come together at international level, but she has time on her side. Maloney to transition. There we go. Very nice. The Ejeva. Give it time, give it time. It's all going in the right direction for Maisa Kuusko. Twice the all-around national champion. Twice in a row the uneven bars national champion. 13.35 for Celia Serbert, just a 10th behind Fries. Her drop from qualification not quite as large as for others. So it is Fries, then Serbert and Stanciulescu with just one more competitor to go. Fun for all the family here in Varna.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Netherlands, Sanne Veerman.
20-year-old Sanne Veerman from the Netherlands, who made her debut at the World Championships in Kitakyushu last year. Second strongest in qualification, with the potential to win this. Oh, what lovely height. Stolder into the Pike Kachev, all looking powerful. Chow transition, yes! She's done incredibly well to stay on the apparatus, but eventually it's got the better of her. It's a bold routine, isn't it, from Sanne Veerman? The problem is, once the control is lost, it can be something of a domino effect. Well, a case of light and shade, really, in that display from Sanne Veerman of the Netherlands. Some excellent features and some problems, really, on the low bar. That's where it was all difficult for her. That which was done up high tended to be done very well. Stolder transition, most associated with Amy Chow. .75 for Mai Zakursiko. That's her out of medal contention. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Stanciulescu has done enough to hold on with that 12.9 in the bronze medal position. We await the final score to come in. Final calculations being performed to the routine of Sanna Veerman. The score is 12.15. Execution 5.95. She did gain some difficulty, a single tenth from qualification, but as expected, no change to the podium. And we'll bring you the classified results in just a moment. Making sure the French team that they are sartorially appropriate. Fries and Sebert about to appear on the podium together, and Fries has given her teammate the thumbs up that all is well. The classified results in the uneven bars final continues to be a very good day for France in Varna. Ioana Stanciulescu of Romania taking the bronze, then it is France 1 and 2, Sebert, and above her Fries. Second gold for Aline Fries.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 6th World Challenge Cup awarding ceremony for women's uneven bars begins.
It's now time for the victory ceremony in the women's uneven bars competition at the Varna World Challenge Cup of Artistic Gymnastics at the Palace of Culture and Sport. The cadets from the National Naval Academy here to do the honours. First ever World Cup medal for Ioana Stanciulescu of Romania. Great to see her recovered and competing internationally and winning internationally once again. Célia Sebert of France, her first ever World Cup medal, silver for the 18-year-old from Dijon. And 2 out of 2 golds for Aline Fries of France. Excellent first World Cup for her.
President of Bulgaria's Women Local Technical Committee.
And what a fine day the French are having in Varna.
Second place will be awarded by Casimir Dunev, President of Bulgaria's Gymnastics Federation. First place will be awarded by Vesna Staretsevnets, Women's FIG Technical Delegate.
Introduction of the presentation party. And we will hear for the second time today for her, but the third overall, the national anthem of France.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of France.
The medalists in the women's uneven bars competition here in Varna. One final remains today. Guess which? We are due to get underway in 2-3 minutes time with the Still Rings final. So let's hand over to our arena presenters who will talk you through these gymnasts and introduce them onto the field of play, with the top qualifier being Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. 14.75 for him. Just a tenth behind him, Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan. Here they come.
Representing Turkey, Yunus Gundoğdu.
First to go will be Yunus Gundoğdu of Turkey. His teammate Mehmet Kosak, they're the 4th and 8th strongest qualifiers respectively. Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, bronze in Doha, 2nd strongest in qualification. Vincent Herk of Austria, 3rd best in qualification, reigning champion nationally. Christopher Borges of Colombia, great to see him. Courtney Tulloch, top qualifier from Great Britain. Marcel Nguyen of Germany, the 34-year-old, is back. And the pommel horse champion Marius Georgiou of Cyprus. Well, we'll talk more about Christopher Borges and Marcel Nguyen as we get to the second half of the competitors. But in the first half, we've got the 4th, 2nd and 3rd best in qualification going one after each other, with Mehmet Kosak, the 8th strongest of Turkey, sandwiched in between. And by hook or by crook, we'll get this rings final underway. And is he going to feature? Nikita Simonov. Very nice performer on this piece. He's got some good difficulty, and he can be very tidy. Vincent Herk, silver medalist at the last World University Games, an event that sadly has had to be postponed. It's due to take place next month, the latest edition. Didn't look too happy with himself there, did he, Vincent Herk?
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Turkey, Yunus Gundoğdu.
We begin with Yunus Gundoğdu of Turkey. the fourth best in qualification, a score of 14.1. Congratulations to him on recently completing his degree in management. Now, how's he going to manage this final? Secure Maltese into a nice level looking iron cross. That's good strength. Small flicker of the feet coming up into the planche position. Yamawaki to Jonason through into not an entirely level iron cross, but a smooth sequence. Nice looking handstand. Oh, very good dismount. Well, that's promising, isn't it? Let's have a look back at this performance by Gundodu. He doesn't have quite as high difficulty as the leading competitors. Little lack of symmetry in that iron cross.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Turkey, Mehmet Apparatus.
Great landing. Mehmet Kusak of Turkey. Eighth strongest in the preliminary round. 13.85 his score. Young man was sixth at the national championships in the all-around competition last year. He's working hard. It's unfortunate, just a little piked and resetting the handstand. Well, a lot of promise in this young athlete from Konak, same place as Ibrahim Çolak. Always good to see the Turkish team with its real strength in depth, giving an opportunity to the younger and less well-known competitors internationally.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Azerbaijan, Nikita Simonov.
For Yunus Gundoğdu, it's 14.6. He's done well. He's gained half a mark from qualification. That has suddenly put him completely in contention. And it asks a question, doesn't it, of Nikita Simonov, the second strongest in the qualification round, who scored only 500ths above this. Starts with the top planche. Maybe a small degree going into the Maltese, did it in installments. Nice line on that planche though. Kawaki to Jonasson to the Maltese. Small flickers in his handstand, but it's very stable looking. Now, can he really hit this dismount without adjustment? Almost. Almost from Nikita Simonov. It's a good performance from the 25-year-old who took a bronze in Doha, a bronze in Baku, and who has competed at a couple of world championships, including making a still rings final. .7 for Mehmet Kusak. He's down by 1/10.5 from the qualification round. Vincent Herk of Austria, European Championship silver medalist in 2020. He was 5th at the World Championships last year, a great still rings specialist. He's won 4 World Cup titles. 3 of them came last year. Starts with the Maltese. A little problem with the yawing of the rings, which hasn't given him an enormous amount of difficulty. Stabilised that well. Very nice, lovely shoulder presentation. Fingers extended fully too. Oh, that's a great dismount from Vincent Herk. Third best performer in qualification. He certainly has not allowed for much room for deduction on his dismount. His execution was the second strongest of any of the qualifying finalists.
Discover the wonders of Lapland and the Northern Lights with Tripadeal on this 12-day package from only $6,699. Save 31%. Discover Helsinki. Spend 2 nights in a glass igloo and more. Includes flights, accommodation, daily breakfast on tour and more. And now, earn and use Qantas points on any booking. Call us or visit tripadeal.com.au.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
We were going to spend the morning at the NGV.
Great.
Are there any other galleries besides that?
Do we stay an extra night?
Or 2.
Simonov, 14.75, so he gains a 10th in execution with the same difficulty as qualification. And that now puts pressure on the gentleman who's about to begin his warm-up. Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch. Exactly the same score for him in qualifying that we've just seen from Simonov. Slovakian delegation glued to the competition. How nice to see him back. .14.45 for Vincent Herc. So he is in third position at the moment. He's lost half a tenth from the qualification round. 34-year-old Marcel Nguyen, who has indicated that his time as a competitive gymnast is going to draw to a close at the European Championships in his home city of Munich in August. Not often we see Marios Georgiou in a still rings final, is it? Overwhelmingly the simplest in terms of difficulty, but the best executed routine. Some really good performances by the Colombian team in qualification. Going to see more Colombian gymnasts in action tomorrow in men's competition. For the first time ever in a World Cup final, Christopher Bojorquez, the 26-year-old from Sogamoso in the north of Colombia, city named after the last high priest of the sacred city of the sun in the Confederacy of the Muisca. Still rings bronze medalist at the Pan American Championships in Rio last year. The same in 2017 in Lima. It's very nice Yamawaki Jonasson work into the iron cross with the full finger point on display. A little diagonal on his handstand, quickly flick the feet back into position. More symmetrical that time. Can he hit this dismount? Almost. That's very promising from Bojorquez. His city, Sogamoso, is most famous for producing cyclists. Hugely popular sport in Colombia. He has 3 times performed at the World Championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Great Britain, Courtney Tulloch.
Now to the top qualifier, Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. 14.75 for the reigning Commonwealth Games champion. Commonwealth Games happening in August in Birmingham, in England. Challenge has been administered by Nikita Simonov for Courtney Tulloch. That's a very impressive line on his planche. Same with the Maltese, beautiful technique. Still only 26, would you believe? Oh, what a nice handstand. Super planche, lovely toe point. It's elegant as well as powerful. And you could stick a ruler across his shoulders and have no gap. Could well all come down to the dismount. Another sturdy looking handstand. Gymnast who took bronze in Cottbus. What's this going to be like? It's good. Is it good enough? Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain with a very impressive routine, but we've also seen a very impressive routine from Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan. Could be a close one. You can always tell the line is strong when you look at the gymnast straight on. You see nothing of their lower body.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, huge applause for Marcel Nguyen.
Christopher Bohorquez scores 14. He's down by only half a tenth from qualification. Welcome back to Marcel Nguyen. Might be a short amount of time that we get to enjoy this two-time Olympic medalist again. For we know he will depart in Munich at the European Championships, but we're going to enjoy every last second. It's a wonderful video marking his comeback on the Munich 2022 social media channels. Nice looking handstand. How good it is to see him back. The all-around silver medalist at the Olympic Games in London, where he also won parallel bars silver. He's had some rotten injuries, tore his cruciate ligament last year, trying to make his fourth consecutive Olympic Games. .65 for Courtney Tulloch, and so Nikita Simonov stays in the lead by a single tenth. The last to go. And with great respect to Marius Georgiou, who won the pommel horse title, he does not really have contending difficulty to challenge the podium, one suspects. Nice beginning though. He looks as pleased as punch after that performance on the pommels. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? It's a treat of execution from Marios Georgiou. Thrilled to be in that Still Rings final, thrilled to have had a pommel horse routine like that. Very nice straddle planche. $13.75 for Marcel Nguyen. He's talked about how thrilled he is just to be back in competition with a goal again, with something to aim for. And my goodness, there will be an awful lot of affection for this great man in his home at European Championships in Munich. British team along with Hazel, a brevet judge from Oxfordshire. Going to see Kelly Sim of the British team in action tomorrow. $13.75 for Marios Georgiou. He only lost a tenth of execution from qualification, and all of that means it's another win at World Cup level for Nikita Simonov. Second place to Courtney Tulloch, third place to Yunus Gundoğdu. Brilliant from him. It's a very fine moment for the 24-year-old from the Aegean coast in southwest Turkey, because he was fourth in the Still Rings competition in Varna last year. This time he makes that crucial jump onto the podium, and it is him, Vincent Herk, who drops down fourth position for a third strongest in qualification. So we'll bring you the classified results in just a moment, and the victory ceremony in that men's Still Rings competition. The final standings in the men's Still Rings event in Varna: Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan winning his third World Cup gold. Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch on the podium for the second time this season at World Cup level, and Yunus Gundoğdu of Turkey in his 13th World Cup event. He gets his third medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 6th World Challenge Cup awarding ceremony for men's steel rings begins.
The victory ceremony in the men's still rings competition in Varna sees a bronze medal for Yunus Kundodu of Turkey. Winner of the silver medal, Courtney Taluk of Great Britain, his second medal of the season. And Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, the champion. An excellent display from him. He gained a 10th from qualification, and that 10th was enough to put him beyond Courtney Taluk, who lost a 10th after the preliminary round.
Second place will be awarded by Kasimir Blunek, President of the Bulgarian Gymnastics Federation. First place will be awarded by Yordan Ljovchuk, President of the Bulgarian Local Organizing Committee.
Well done to the cadets from the National Naval Academy, who've done a super job. Impeccably attired, as you would expect. It's always a nice feature of the competitions in Varna to have them here. And we'll now hear the national anthem of Azerbaijan, played for Nikita Simonov.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem of Azerbaijan.
The medalists in the men's still rings competition at the Varna World Challenge Cup. And it brings to a close our first day of coverage on this weekend of Artistic Gymnastics World Challenge Cup action in Varna. 3 gold medals for France, the standout nation of day one. A gold for Azerbaijan and a gold for Cyprus. But we have 5 more medal events to come tomorrow. Do hope you'll be able to join us for more action from Varna. Until then, goodbye.
We are grateful to have you here. Have every day.
Дами и господа, това бяха финалните изпълнения и финалното награждаване за днешния трети състезателен ден. Утре ще наблюдаваме битката за финалите на земна гимнастика и града за жени и прескок до спортка висилка за мъже. И нека отново силно аплодираме българските представители с достойното си представяне и завоюване на 7-та позиция на прескок на Валентина Георгиева. И завоювания медал на земна гимнастика от Теодор Трифонов. Аплаус, please. Аплаус.
Yeah, believe.